Hey, how are you guys? In a happy ASMR relaxing way. I'm so excited that you guys are here. I'm still a novice when it comes to ASMR. I'm filming this in the morning. Look, guys, what I made. Yes. So, I wanted to feel like ASMR podcasts. That's kind of I myself listen to multiple podcasts in a week, and I'm heavily influenced by the conversations that I listen to. I had a good morning today. I'm kind of resting, kind of a morning, stretching. Guys, since I've been trying to be more flexible, I can feel the pain of me wanting to expand my limits. And that's not only regarding my mobility, like, it's regarding my actual mobility in this life. I have gotten used to, honestly, loneliness and pain because that's what and how I grew up. Like, I have had good moments, but that's generally how my life was like. Thank goodness that when you're a kid, you have a vast imagination and all of that. I think as kids, we were guarded and we have a lot of contact with energies. And if you're not believing in energies, it's like your mind and its capacity itself is a protection, not really making you aware of certain hardships that was going around your environment, but it will affect you in a way as well, not as harshly probably. And I have been watching people who actually been talking about it. If you know about Rudolf Steiner, I think he mentioned this, that each life phase has some sort of vibes in our life, and it seems like childhood is pretty creative and imaginative, and I think if you develop that when you were younger and you take it with you when you're older, it's gonna be like a tool. Wow. Coming back, so I was listening to this conversation, my friend sent it to me. It was basically talking about teachings. If you don't like these kind of topics, probably this not gonna be your favorite. So, the teachings of Ram and Rudolf Steiner together, and how they complete one another, like they explain one another, like they're the same teachings but explained differently. Like, one is more in a loving, like the path of love. The other one's more intellectual, but still coming from the same essence in a way. Like, they explain one another, and this lady was talking about how she followed both, and she thinks it's like important for her life. Um, and one of the things that I've taken from it, just because ASMR is about resting and sleeping, and of course the quality of your life, like, once you know your presence, it's like your responsibility for your own body, existence, And when you're actually with your body, you can help alleviate what is going on with you when you're stressed or just in a certain state that doesn't make you feel alive or engaged. You feel more disconnected. So, part of it was mentioning sleeping, and I wanted to mention it here. It's important that the quality of your thoughts before sleeping to be wholesome, good. Maybe they recommended, of course, reading a fantasy book, classic fantasy books. Don't remember the name of the books, but that was recommended because you're going to that kind of a world that you can have fantasies in, but not really. They're not really a fantasy. You know, they're part of you, and it's good to go to sleep with an energy that is activating, you know. For me, I used to always want to send good prayers to everyone before I go to sleep, but I wouldn't really focus on my thoughts because I used to sleep way faster, like pretty fast, basically. So I don't really remember the kinds of thoughts that I had. I'll just remember that I would want to send goodness to everyone. Like I mentioned, my life wasn't easy, so I knew that there are people like me, and I knew that those things might help. Because sometimes when I'm really going through something hard, I'll be like, there's no way that I'm here. Like, still, can't think and do all these things. Yes, and I would think definitely there's a higher power that is supporting me and it's sustaining me, but at the same time, I would feel like there are people who actually wish others goodness. So yeah, I had to mention this. It's good to wake up gently, gracefully, setting your day, you know, tomorrow. I hope this ASMR inspires you to wake up the next day and just close your eyes, breathe, feel what's going in your mind. Interesting. What about a thought from the heart? Can I connect to that? What really, really matters at the end of the day? Isn't it nice? I do include other things I do in the morning than this, but that's maybe for another day. Definitely would make up my morning is including any activity that nourishes me. If you're having a tight morning, of course you can do it later, but I feel like you have to give yourself something in the morning that is of benefit of you, that you really enjoy. You know, take care of yourself, basically. Basically. And I know I used to share books here, but I feel like I haven't really read anything. This is one of the weirdest months I've lived. And I guess my friend recommended me to get this book, and this book was mentioned in the talk that I mentioned. They mentioned sleep. Mentioned. Okay. I'm gonna read the first page because they mentioned the first page and it touched them. Apparently the talker kind of changed a canon event. It was a canon event to the ones who did the podcast, or I try to include these kind of teachings. I feel like the world is not complete without these kind of thoughts and philosophies. Yes, people would say, oh, religions have them, but people don't even understand how to think themselves to understand, books like religions. In my opinion, I think that's way too far for people. Okay, it's called The Cosmic Law, Omram Mikhail, and I don't know how to say this last name. But guys, I read one of his book, didn't complete it. You can listen to it. I hope you'll love it. So let's read the first page. Chapter 1. Okay. You reap whatever you sow. Yesterday, as you will remember, I talked to you about what it means on the psychological level to be attuned to someone else. If you want to understand what a friend is saying to you, you have to vibrate in unison with them. To understand someone is to be on the same wavelength, to vibrate in unison with that person. This is the definition of comprehension. If you want to listen to a particular radio program, you have to attune. You have to tune in the wavelength of this station that is transmitting. Similarly, if you want to comprehend, to be attuned to the thoughts, feelings, and desires of others, you have to get onto their wavelength. If you don't understand someone, it means that you're unable or unwilling to vibrate in unison with them, to raise or sink this level of consciousness. And when you do understand someone, it means that you have succeeded. If only temporarily, in getting onto the same wavelength, this is the secret of comprehension. It is a kind of attunement to an object or another being. Actually, there are few details here that need somewhat further clarification. When you listen to what someone is saying, part of you has to be in tune with him in order to hear and understand the meaning of his word. But part of you may well not be in tune with him at all. Just because you listen to someone and try to understand his word does not mean that you agree with what he says. You can perfectly well agree to listen and to understand him without agreeing with what he's saying. If, on the other hand, you not only listen to him but accept and agree with every fiber of your being with what he says, then you're doubly attuned to him. Thus, there are several different levels of attunement or accord. A human being is made up of certain number of organs, each of which vibrates on its own particular wavelength. The wavelengths of the heart, the brain and the liver, the stomach and the spleen, etc., are all different form of each other, and yet the one organism embraces them all. And a person's thought, or if you like, his brain, although they are not the same thing, is the composite reflection of the behavior of all his cells. It expresses the tendencies and desires, the whims, torments, and sufferings of them all. It is the cells of the brain, the thousands of millions of these tiny cells that are designed to be the spokesman for the whole individual. Wow. Guys, this is already interesting. And I interestingly listened today to something connects this book, connects the talk that I listened to recently. And it was talking about exactly how we have lost the ability to feel waves. And waves are really part of our senses, I believe. I don't know if I'm remembering the talk really well, but it's like music, singing, how there are different waves. And today I was trying to sing actually, and I wanted to do like higher ones and lower ones, and this singer was saying that when you do a high one, when you do a higher notes, people often describe it as bright. When you do lower ones, people usually describe it as bigger. And let's think about it. Do I need to say anything more? What do you think? Maybe lower parts, lower feels bigger. When you're down, feels bigger sometimes than the light. When you're like up there, it feels like a moment and you don't want to lose it. It's like the peak. It's like very high, but well, what has to make you go really high probably is a good foundation, right? Good lower. Forget what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. Even to me. But wow, guys, I didn't start reading this book, and now I might read it after finishing this. But what I hate about reading books digitally, because I own a Kindle and I didn't charge it, that I hate reading from my phone. Like, I literally can't see. Like, I definitely can see because I was reading it from my phone a minute ago, but it's so difficult and harmful. I think my eyes is not designed to that. I used to read a lot on my phone, but nothing of use. Especially when I was pretty little. Okay. Yeah. Kind of tempted to read the next page, but I just gave you what I was talking about that I forgot. Yeah. I don't even remember. So that we're on another wave, let's say. If everything is waves, I think maybe we do know things, but because we haven't developed the wave feeling. I don't know. Anyways, I'm being really silly right now. I'm not gonna talk about things I don't know much about. Dude, still, it's interesting because, yeah, if we're on a certain wave, we're probably going to switch from a music station to a talk station, it's like interesting. Yeah. So if you're curious about how to make my matcha, milk and maple syrup it is. I used to not drink sweetened drinks, really, but having honey in my drinks and maple changed the game for me. I love it. And to be honest, I filmed like 2 videos of ASMR, but all of them, I was on different levels and waves and emotions, and when I listen to them, it's not bad. It's like, wow, interesting. I was feeling so down that I was like, just, or frustrated and tired that I just was babbling, and like, yapping the whole time. And it's not bad, but I literally filmed like 2 other videos. I don't think I would ever post them. They were kind of long, and I wish I remember what I was talking about, because it might help me. I was thinking about, like, I personally need to wear glasses, and I was thinking about blue light protection glasses, because I've heard that people sleep better, they function better, they feel like way better somehow wearing these kind of glasses. And guys, these days we mainly are like in front of a blue screen. What's those called? Yeah, screens are in front of us more than nature, more than people, depending on what we're doing. But for some of us, this is life, and I was thinking about glasses, although it's not on my bucket list because financially, maybe I'll do it later, but definitely I'm thinking about it, and I'm putting it out there in case it might help you sleep better, since we're doing an ASMR video. That's why I'm mentioning it. It's smart because even mentioning, I was like, why am I mentioning this in my ASMR talk? And the conclusion came to me later. So never ever underestimate your thoughts. You will know the conclusion later. Why you're feeling these things, why you're thinking about certain things, and why is it haunting you. You'll know later. And if you're trying to get the results faster, you lost, because guess what? Not all experiments give you results that fast. True. And they will still discover new things later on. So is you. Everything is a reflection, basically. Yep, everything is a reflection. And that's what I'm trying to focus on. I want to be so awake that these things around me in my environment that I don't like, I don't want to hear them inside my mind. I want to grow kinder. Some people say, like, their life doesn't change. They can't change. It's because probably they've never considered being really, really loving to themselves. And when you love yourself, you're firm and you're soft. Both. So, if you're addicted to something and you'll be like, oh, I love myself, it's fine to be addicted. No, you have to choose what is really healthy for yourself, what makes your body really feels great. And we're all learning this, I guess. This is why we're here. We're learning to be human, because we don't understand what human is. Some of us, we're so lost, we don't know where we are. We don't know who we are, and we keep living like that. Nobody's like trying to talk to you about these things. They're basically teaching you what you should be. And all of their teachings is based on an idea that people have agreed to be true, you know? But in this life, guess what? We will all have to discover what really is true, and almost every time it comes down to love. You know, it's weird, but it is. I love this talk so far. I hope you guys find it interesting, like I do. And the reason why I'm using my phone headphones is because my mic is pretty unpredictable. I like it more, I feel like I'm more professional. And I'm just starting ASMR. I'm not sure if anyone's enjoying my content really, but I like it more, to be honest, than my iPhone gadgets. But hey, again, life's unpredictable, and one day I'll get a better gadget. Maybe I'll switch even from the whole ASMR thing. I don't know. But for now, it's good for me. I hope it's good for you because we're healing together. As I start to grow older, I appreciate that I'm sensitive, and I know this because I'll exclude so many things, so many people that cannot attune. You know what I mean? So yeah, thank you guys for listening. May you all be filled with love. May you all be kind, filled with joy. May you all feel safe in body and mind. May you all feel protected. May you all be free from suffering and pain. May all beings be free. May you rest in yourself. I think my video it's going to end here, you guys. Thank you so much for coming and chilling and unwinding, relaxing. I love making those videos and expressing certain interest of mine and sharing it with you, and I hope it helps you on your way in any ways.